Hey everyone, Vince and Niko here from AutoIndustriya.com, and we're doing this video to give you a primer of the cars we expect or wish to come into the Philippine market, into showrooms for 2024 from official dealerships. Now we did this last year, and I think we got a pretty good hit rate.
Yeah, I think it was like 80%.
Yeah. So hopefully we get it right this year because. It seems it's going to be another interesting one.
2023 was a very busy year, new brands coming in, but this list for 2024 looks...
There's also new brands coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be busier.
It's going to be busy, and like us we bounce around from one brand, one launch to another, so scheduling is going to be a difficult thing, and for you guys in the auto industry, hopefully maayos nyo na please yung calendar para
yes,
medyo maayos. And it's getting a bit crazy. So anyways, time is going to be the most valuable commodity today. So let's get right to it. We'll start with one of the bigger groups.
One of our good friends over at TMP, Toyota Motor Philippines, and Lexus.
Yeah, we have to group them together because they're going to have a lot of launches this year. So one of the ones, like two of the models we really have been waiting for from Toyota. Even last year we said that, and this was one of our misses, was the Vios, the all-new Vios based on the DNGA platform, and the Toyota Tamaraw, which is expected to start production later this year.
Yeah, because we have news that starting November this year, the plant in Laguna will start producing the Tamaraw.
Yeah, so there or thereabouts. So Q3, they'll probably starting production already, with the launch in Q4, so depending on how that goes. The DNGA Vios, that one actually, based on our contacts from abroad, they're telling us that Toyota might not start production of the DNGA Vios in the Philippines in 2024, but we'll keep you updated on that one. Yeah. Another version that may or may not come in is an interesting one because it's a high-performance one to compete with the FL5, which is
it a 4-door, 5-door?
Yeah, I think it's a 5-door, right? It's the GR Corolla. So hopefully that comes in this year. We can't really confirm, or
deny
what's going on, but we'll see how that goes. I know a lot of you guys are going to be looking forward to that. And then another one, Land Cruiser Prado, or
LC250.
Yeah, the LC250.
Yeah.
Are they still going to call it Prado?
I think they dropped the Prado name, so it's more the Land Cruiser 250. It's very interesting because this might be a lot cheaper than the LC300.
Yeah.
At sana may stock na.
Sana. And then over for Lexus, we have the LBX, which should be coming in.
The baby Lexus.
Yes. So that is going to be a TNGA Yaris Cross. Uses those components. And also the Lexus GX. So basically the LC250
with Lexus trim.
In Lexus trim. There are actually a few more that I think should also be included in the list. One thing I also learned was that the Innova that's being produced in the Toyota Motor Philippines plant might still continue production because there seems to be a delay with setting up the production line for a ZX, but we'll see how that goes if they're actually going to produce it here. And there's one more I'm forgetting. Oh yes, BZ4X.
Oh yes, the RZ450 Toyota version.
Yeah, we're actually figuring out whether it's going to be launched this year or it's going to be delayed.
Yeah, it was our miss from last year also.
Yeah, we'll see if it. Yeah, we'll see if it happens. We'll find out how that goes. Now, Niko,
let's move on to Honda. We found out like last year that they might actually bring in the City hatchback. So, because the City, they launched it last year, and I think that they're gonna bring in the hatchback.
The updated hatchback. Yeah, because we already have the City hatchback.
Yeah, so it's probably gonna come with Honda Sensing, just like the City sedan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we might also be looking at more e-HEVs.
Yes, I believe they're probably gonna bring in the HRV.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Again, we can't confirm any of these because Honda's being very, very quiet about the information. But when we get the right info, we'll let you know. But because the e-HEV system is available in the HRV, the City, and the Civic.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like from a manufacturer, from an OEM distributor, importer standpoint, you're going to be looking at vehicles for hybrids that actually will sell.
Yeah, because the problem with the Civic now with our market is like not a lot of people are buying into it. So I think an EHEV Civic would not be a practical choice for Honda Philippines.
So the more logical, I mean, and also if you use it in the city, it's going to be like quite expensive. So the HRV is going to be our bet, but how much is that going to be? Even the turbo is like 1.7.
Because the CRV alone is already at like around 2.4.
Yeah.
So.
So anyways, so now we go on to Mitsubishi.
Yes. Everybody's waiting for the new Strada, or no longer Strada.
Triton. And I think I can tell you now, but I just drove the Triton here in the Philippines, and yeah, it's impressive. And I was driving the lower grade variant, not even the Athlete. So, like, you barely have to touch the throttle; it's already moving up.
Because the GLS version, we had a preview last year at one of our dealership friends, and the interior alone.
The interior is nice, but really, for me, it's two things: the torque. The torque of the vehicle, so even down low, you don't have to touch the throttle anymore. It's already moving very, very well, even on an incline. And then the styling, of course, it's not for everyone. Depends on you.
A notable feature, though, that we noticed from last year, and when we saw the actual vehicle, is that the Triton has a very big gas tank cover.
Yes.
It kind of hints of like an EV.
Hybrid?
Yeah, probably plug-in.
Maybe.
So
Most
plug-in
likely.
hybrid, because they already have the Outlander here in the Philippines.
That's
as
true.
a PHEV, so
That's true.
we might see that, and the engine layout. So
the engine, the way they do everything, you'll see it in our video or walk around of that.
Yeah.
But one thing you also see is that a lot of, I guess, shared Nissan supplier components.
Oh yes.
So with the infotainment, it's very, very, like, if you look at the Terra and then the new Triton, it's very, very similar, just different fonts, different graphics. Same also with the instrument cluster, very, very,
similar.
very Terra, very, very Navara. So keep that in mind. Now, another one is the X-Force.
Yes, they previewed this during the 60th anniversary of Mitsubishi Motors Philippines. We've seen it actually, but hopefully this year we can actually drive and see it. So,
the X-Force. So for you guys, for you cable fans out there, X-Force is gonna be there. But the one that we are, and I know a lot of you are looking forward to, is, well, the world premiere of the Montero Sport.
Oh.
So hopefully that happens this year.
Yeah, because it's been a while. The Montero Sport has been, facelift, but now you could actually have the new one.
Because if we look at the model timelines of Mitsubishi, the Montero Sport is really the next vehicle for them, and it's a very important vehicle for them here in the Philippines in particular. So the world premiere, you know what? I'll look into my crystal ball and I will make a bold guess that they will reveal it at the Bangkok Motor Show in 2 months.
Q1. Q1.
Just a guess.
Yeah.
But if they don't, most likely sometime a couple months later.
So be sure to stay tuned to our channels.
I'll cross my fingers that I got it right. Right. So there you go. And if the Triton is any indication, it should be a good one.
Yes.
Now on to Nissan.
Probably they're going to bring in the X-Trail, the e-Power version. You've driven it in Japan. So
Yes. The e-Power is a system that they can put into any pretty much of their vehicles now. And the X-Trail is something that we haven't had in the Philippines for a few years now.
There's actually a good following with the X-Trail. So.
And I drove the X-Trail in Japan. It's actually really nice.
I've seen the video. I was like, oh wow, that looks good.
It's quite nice. The vehicle. I drove the Altec version, which is also really nice inside. But we'll see how the pricing goes. But if they can bring it in, because e-Power is practically already considered
electric,
a BEV under our laws.
Yeah.
So that way they can hopefully bring it in at a good price for us. So maybe. Yeah. I would not guess sub 2 million. I'd say probably around maybe 2.2, 2.3 thereabouts starting.
Speaking of Altec, I wish though, they could bring in the Kicks e-Power Altec, because I've driven it in Thailand, and since they were able to get more tax breaks, the Nissan Kicks e-Power being BEV now, they could actually change the VL, the top spec, into the Altec version,
or just add another higher variant.
Yeah,
it is. Another one we're looking at is the Aria EV. Now they will never confirm this with us. They will never say, "Oh, we're bringing this." No, they'll never do that. But that's one thing we're actually looking at that is a possibility for this year, if not probably late this year.
Yes.
And another one on my wish list, just my pure wish list, would be the Nissan Serena. I know it's on a lot of your wish lists, and I drove it. Yeah, it's.
Because I think it would be great for the Philippine market, like a small compact van type of, so.
Yeah, so not as imposing as an Alphard. It's a bit smaller, like a good, let's say, rival to I don't know, some of the other MPVs out there already in our market.
And it's e-power, so
right.
It should be interesting.
Now we jump into Suzuki.
Oh.
And they actually they practically kicked off 2024 for us because the first images of the Suzuki
Jimny 5-door.
Yeah, the Jimny 5-door started emerging like on car carriers here in like Star Tollway.
And, I think they even had a shoot with it, for their collaterals.
Yeah,
and people actually saw it in action.
Yeah, so it looks cool. I mean, basically it's the 5-door. It's a Jimny with 2 more doors.
Yeah.
Really, it's something people really want in the Philippine market because getting into a rear seat without your own door is kind of difficult. So
I mean, there's a clamor since last year of the 5-door.
So we'll see how it performs. Yeah. I mean, if it's still as nimble as before, the engine is going to be the pricing though is not really going to be that great because it's like 1.5 ish.
1.7.
So 1.7. So
we'll see.
Yeah, there you go. Now another one. What's this one?
XL7 hybrid. Since the Ertiga hybrid was launched last year, so I think very good move for Suzuki Philippines.
Yeah, the mild hybrids of their vehicles.
Yeah, would move into the XL7 hybrid.
Yeah, so that's another viable option. Maybe an all-new Swift.
Auric.
Let's see how that goes. How if they do push through with a Swift.
Yeah.
We'll see how
I think
that goes.
our good friend Auric is already making a petition for everybody to sign up so that they would bring in the all-new Swift.
We'll see how he does with that one. Now Ford. There we go.
Yes.
So Ford, I think they were actually preempted by one of their dealers.
We saw it on social media, on Facebook, and
the Bronco,
basically.
And I know the Bronco is already it's already a fairly dated model in Ford.
They've had it for 3 years now.
3 years now, yeah. The problem and why it took so long for Ford to do it is the supply and demand, the demand over in the U.S. in particular. So we kind of had to wait, and that's okay. All good things come to those who wait. And the Bronco is finally coming here. We're not sure which versions are coming yet.
According to some of our trusted sources, there would only be 300 units coming in for the first batch, or like for the batch, and I think it would come in 3 variants. So that we still have to find out about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what else would Ford have? F-150 Raptor.
Yes.
Is that really coming in? We shall see.
I think it's around 80% sure that they're bringing in, because
Yeah, it's a 20% unsure. I'm worried about. But what else? I mean, there are probably going to be more variants of Everest coming. Do they already have the Wild Track variant?
They have the Wild Track variant, but we're looking at it's either the Storm Track or the Platinum, because in Thailand they have the Everest Platinum, which is the V6 version.
Yes, we don't have that yet.
Yes. And the Storm Track you drove in Thailand?
The Storm Track, I like what they did with that. The way you can, like the sports bar is on a rail.
Yes.
And then it has a folding.
It's very modular.
It's very cool. So for those of you guys who do I don't know, surfing or woodworking or all that stuff, that really comes in well. So from Ford, we also have Raptor V6 wish list. Raptor V6. I mean, drove that as well in Thailand. No, it's a good new Mustang. Now we'll see.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last year, but we'll see.
So on to Hyundai, Santa Fe.
We had the preview during their party last Christmas. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. Looks like a Defender. Doesn't have the height of the Defender, by the way.
But it has like more bells and whistles than the Defender, though.
Well, they can't really. I like the thing about it. I don't know what's a good vehicle to look at to compare that to. GAC, the GSA.
Oh yes.
You look at it. It's very boxy. It's very cool looking.
Stay tuned. We might do a compare on those two cars.
So they're gonna have the 2.5 turbo and the 1.6 turbo hybrid. And it's launching. Well, this quarter.
Yeah, Q1 for 2024.
Now, next we have, Hyundai did say they were doing an N line, or they're going to get into the N line. We're not sure if that's going to be like just
the sports cars though, but I think they were hinting.
Sorry, not N line. I mean the N. Actual N. N line is the dress up kit, right? But N.
They were hinting that probably because they had a preview video of the
Yes.
Ioniq 5N version,
Yes.
so that's to watch out for.
Another one, facelifted Tucson. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully, if they're
we'll
already
see.
producing it in Malaysia, I think,
Yeah.
right? But anyways, on to Hyundai's partner brand, not really sub brand, separate brand,
Yeah,
but
same
it's really
from Korea, also South Korea.
South Korea,
Kia.
but also a lot of them going to be produced in Malaysia now. Is Kia. So Sportage, is that really still coming into the Philippines?
They say because like production has already started in some parts. Yeah, but we'll see.
Because I mean, the Sportage, we've been waiting for it for years and years and years. They never said yes to any of it, so so I guess you can say I almost lost hope already to seeing the new Sportage. In
But
the Philippines.
we've got confirmation from their distributors that the EV5 or the baby EV9 is coming in. So
yeah, but I mean, Kia's EV6 is good, but the pricing was I don't know.
yeah,
Because this one, if it comes in at the right price, hey, great.
I mean we'll see because the EV5 is not more of like a futuristic car. It's like more of a PPV kind of a small PPV. So
We'll see. Then Carnival update. That one's something I mean, people like dealers can barely keep stocks of Carnivals.
the Carnivals. Yeah.
I mean, Carnival arrives. They do the PDI and then it's released to the customer right away.
Because we've seen the facelifted version of this one, and it has similar design cues to the Santa Fe. Like the checkered board kind of thing, glossy and all that. So this could be very interesting for this year.
Cool. All right. So from Kia is another brand that does specialize in EVs, and that is BYD Build Your Dreams. Now, I just drove the Atto 3. That is a very, very nice EV that they did there. But there are a few more that we're really looking forward to. I mean, they're not going to bring the Dolphin here. The Dolphin is kind of like their sport sedan type vehicle going on.
No. The Dolphin is already here.
So
The
Seal.
Yeah, the Seal.
So BYD has this sea creature theme going on with their names. So yes, the Seal is the performance car. The Dolphin is the hatchback. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the first one they brought in. But what we're expecting is the one you drove in the racetrack in China. It's the Seagull.
Yeah, the mini Lambo. Or at least the look, the design cues do seem like a little Lamborghini, which is pretty cool. And we drove the Seagull, the Seagull on the track. So it's not really meant for the track, but still, it's
something interesting for the Philippine market because I think this would be geared towards like the Nano Box, which we'll be talking about later, and the Jetour ice cream.
Yeah,
So
well, Nano Box already launched here, but it brings us to our next brand, which is DongFeng.
Yeah.
DongFeng. So one thing that we hope they would launch is the M Hero 917.
Yep.
So that is, what's that, a big SUV, right?
Yeah, it's an SUV.
So
Yep. It's
full
probably
EV.
full EV or with a range extender because the first three cars that they kind of previewed last year, or they already launched last year. The Iola's Huge, the 14 Friday, and the Nano Box.
Okay.
So-
And Marcos did have a drive of some of the Dongfeng models, like over to
Vegan.
Ilocos Norte or Sur, and then he looks like he really enjoyed himself.
Check out his video.
Yeah,
on
he
our
can
YouTube
he can
channel.
barely contain his enjoyment. That's Marcus. Now Changan. Changan last year they changed hands.
Yeah,
they
and
changed
they
hands
had
too.
a big relaunch.
Yeah, in
with a
BGC.
They're under Inchcape now.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that we saw during that grand launch was the S7 electric vehicle.
Yes, I checked that. That's the kind of MPV-ish.
Yeah, it's like similar to the Uni K, but it's electric.
Yeah.
So it has design cues from the Uni K, but it's an electric vehicle. So we'll see if they're gonna actually bring it in this year.
Yeah, because Changan's lineup in the Philippines is actually fairly complete already.
Yes,
so
pretty much.
they've got
The sedan, the CS5535, the X7, Uni K.
Yeah. If there's one thing I would, like a lot of the newer Chinese automakers do in the Philippines, is to homogenize their naming system. So it's kind of easier for us, us as, like motoring journalists to understand. as well as for customers. You want to be able to communicate those to customers a bit more clearly. But I digress.
Because X70 and X7 is plus. Yeah.
And it brings us into our next brand, which is our friends over from GWM Philippines. So, Luxuriant Group did relaunch last year. I mean, they launched the GWM brand in the Philippines, and a lot of the vehicles that they have are actually something that people look forward to.
Design-wise, price-wise, of course, we talked about the Tank 300 and the Aura 03, or also known as the Aura Good Cat.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year we could actually be seeing them on the road.
Yeah, because when we went to the Guangzhou Motor Show a couple months ago, when I went there anyway, they revealed the Tank 700.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, it's huge.
Yeah.
It really has ganda ng tayo eh.
Yeah.
Ganda ng tayo off the ground.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice. Very boxy, looks very powerful.
Because I think the Tank 500 is kind of dated, so that's why they're pushing for the 700.
700 now. But highly doubt if that'll come into the Philippine market. That's something that's just a wish list. But the one that is more realistic for us from GWM this year is the Haval Menglong. And now you know what I mean when I say they need to work on the naming conventions that they have. I think they're gonna call it Raptor, but again, that
you can't use the
Ford
Raptor,
might complain on that one. So we'll see what they do. But it's like a little boxy crossover SUV from Haval, which is the sub-brand, SUV brand of GWM. And now we talk about our friends over at GAC and what they might have for us this year. So we're looking at Niko, go ahead.
First up, me and Marcus were talking about this because Marcus was able to go to China for this one. It's the MPOW R. So they're gearing that towards the WRX. I think more of the F05, because seeing the photos from Marcus, the white version, this could be very interesting because the MPOW, it's doing well, with the civic crowd, who are.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
so bringing in the MPOW R might be very, very good for GAC as well.
And there are also some new NEVs or new energy vehicles that they're looking into. Thinking like electric or hybridized versions of the MPOW, MQ, GS8. Yeah. You know what? I think the GS8 can really do with a hybrid or a PHEV to boost it up. But the things we're looking forward to, one is the M8. Now, the M8, I did a short, brief walk around of it at the Christmas party of GAC. It's like an Alphard. It's GAC's Alphard. No other way to put it. Looks really good, by the way. And if they can get the price, I don't know, we'll see what their pricing is going to be. It should be good. The other one is the M6 Pro, which is an update of the M6 already available in the Philippines. And you know what? I sat inside. I played around with the features, like how you fold the seats. It's like stow and go. Yeah. Like stow and go for, I think, the Chrysler vehicles before, where the rear seat, it kind of tumbles and then folds in, and then when it's up, you've got a really tall space there.
It's actually like a legit MPV that come from JC. And you were talking about the M8. We couldn't see the inside, but the M6 Pro, we had all the time to just check out what's inside.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, nice. And the pricing I hear is going to be really good. So watch out for that. The other one is the
Ion Hyper GT.
If that will come in, because Ion, AION, is one of the sub brands of GAC over in China, and when you see, they pretty much specialize in the electric versions of GAC. So hopefully the Ion GT it's a BEV. It's on the BEV list already. So we'll see how that goes. Then there's another one on the BEV list of the DOE that appeared. It is the Geely Radar RD6, or at least the Radar RD6
EV truck from Geely.
But here's the thing, though. Since we're talking about Geely already, the Radar is kind of their EV truck. We're not sure if this was filed by Geely Philippines or SGAP or another entity like a third-party importer. But I know a lot of customers of Geely are looking forward to not necessarily the RD6, but updates to the entire lineup of Geely. Like they're clamoring for
a new.
The updates to the Binyue, which is the Coolray, or the Boyu, which is the Azkara, so on and so forth. So hopefully they updated them with things like I don't know, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good update officially from,
It's a big thing with the
the
Philippine market, you know.
yeah.
Trust me.
And of course, new look, new
Yeah.
features like adaptive cruise control, all that stuff. So, yeah, the Geelys don't have those yet, so it would be nice to see them there. Now, next.
Let's move on to our good friends over at Chery.
Chery.
We are able to preview the EQ1 and the EQ7. The EQ1 is like that small vehicle. Again, with the likes of the Nano Box, the Jetour ice cream. And one thing notable about that is like the hood, you can actually just
Yeah, you can remove it.
out.
Actually, the EQ1, the hood is not even hinged. It's like it's kind of latched on there.
Lock it, and then you can
It's
actually
pretty different.
put it, yeah.
And then actually the EQ1, I actually drove that maybe 5 years ago
5
now.
years,
So 5 years ago, I drove that in Wuhu in China, which is where Chery is from, and we drove the EQ1 around the test track. It's pretty nifty. And then the EQ7 is another thing that also
crossover, yeah.
it seems to be like a dashing, an EV version of a dashing.
Yeah.
But again, Jetour and Chery are, well, Jetour is the kind of budget brand of
yeah.
Chery, so keep that in mind. And then there's also the Tiggo 7 Pro PHEV.
which we also saw
Yeah,
in
so that-
line with the EQ1 and the EQ7.
Yeah, but we're still waiting for them to officially launch that
Yes.
vehicle in the Philippine market. Now, what's next?
Let's move on to Jetour first.
Yeah.
So I think we believe that the
We
T1, we hope the T1 off-road SUV will be coming into the market. It's the one that looks like a Defender. So you know, like very much.
Yeah. Again, I think they need to work on the naming scheme because
Yeah.
it gets a bit confusing what we're
'cause
actually talking about.
T1 reminds me of my Fujifilm cameras. So
Now, on to MG.
yes.
MG is going to have a busy 2024. That is something we are sure of, because during the party a couple of
Yes.
weeks ago, they showed us a few things. One is the Cyberster,
the
which is-
Chaberster.
which is a roadster, electric roadster, which you've already been seeing.
Very, very nice.
It hopefully comes in this year. But there's also the MG4 X Power, which is
We
that
had a preview.
that's the green one,
The
right?
green one, yeah.
The Performa, like 400 something horsepower one.
Yeah.
Incredible, and it's gonna come in around maybe 2 million, 2.1 thereabouts. But the one we're really looking forward to is the one,
Yeah,
the
the
MG1.
MG1.
So they say it's slightly smaller than the MG ZS.
ZS. Yeah, it's like
HS.
the I think it's gonna be like the ZS update or kind of that towards that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be around 1.4, 1.3 million.
So very interesting pricing also.
So now we head on over to our friends over at RSA, BMWs, SMAC, DC, something. Sorry, Spencer. Love you. But BMW Philippines. So they're they're giving us a few teasers. So for one, we think they're going to launch the i5 and the 5 Series this year. So we'll go with i5 and 5 Series. So Brent actually flew over to Portugal to drive the i5 and the 5 Series, and he seems to be very impressed. It's also his first time in Portugal, so I guess he enjoyed the sights over there, Portugal, right? But the one that actually surprised me is that they are launching the i4, the BMW i4,
Very interesting.
this month. So maybe even by the time we come out with this video,
already like did the launch.
depending on how fast our video editor Sir Zach
Yes.
gets to edit this, the i4 may already be out, but it is a car. It's a Grand Coupe.
Yeah.
It's a 4-door Grand Coupe of BMW, and that's electric. So basically like the 4 Series Grand Coupe, but electric. I drove it in Singapore, I think maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Mid-year last year. Yeah.
Maybe 2022,
Yeah.
thereabout, late 2022. It's actually nice. And I asked BMW, I was like, oh, when is this coming into the Philippines? They said, no, we're not bringing it in.
And then
Yeah,
now-
so much for that now.
Here we
Okay,
are.
thanks guys. So there you go. So i4 coming in. The pricing, we'll see how that goes. I think it's around 5 thereabouts. That's what they're looking at. Maybe. We'll see. And,
But again, this list, guys, is pretty much Some are speculation, some are wish lists,
Yeah.
but some are confirmed. But it just gives you a preview
True.
on what to expect for 2024.
We have a few more actually.
Oh.
So we still have. Oh, if it's not in your list, I put it in. I put
okay.
it in. Oh yeah. So a couple more that we know. Or,
Oh, yes.
we know or think are coming in. Includes Foton from our friends at Foton.
yes.
Mars 7 and 9.
These are the big. They look like a Ram truck.
Yeah, we're actually kind of just wishing for this because we saw the pictures. Looks cool. Looks very big.
Yes.
So they're like, think of these like American-sized trucks, but in like good prices. Hopefully.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. But the other one is JMC,
JMC.
which is also now under Astara.
Yeah.
And headed up by our good friend Arlen. And they have 2 trucks coming in, or that they may already be offering.
Yeah.
It's the Vigus, which is a Vigus Work, which
Yeah.
is kind of like a work truck kind of thing going on. So it's something like you would use for the ranch,
Yes.
for the farm,
Like if
for
you're a contractor,
that kind of thing.
construction.
So
kind of thing.
it's you batter the truck, see how it holds up. So it should hold up, I hope. The other one is the Grand Avenue, which is a how to say, a premium style pickup truck overall that they're gonna do for for people who want a lifestyle
Yeah.
truck. That's gonna be something very very.
It's interesting.
We'll see.
Okay.
Anyways, we got a lot of things coming on this year. 2023, busy. 2024 will be.
Busier.
So we'll see how it all goes. Again, all of these vehicles that we spoke about today are some are confirmed, some are guesses,
Some are wishes.
some are wishes. It just depends.
Yeah.
We're just giving you a picture of what 2024 will look like. We're gonna see a lot of EVs, a lot of crossovers,
Yes.
quite a few more pickups.
Probably more brands.
Yeah,
a couple
probably
more brands.
more
coming in.
brands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we know of a few more brands coming in,
Yeah.
but we'll wait for confirmation before we talk about that.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you guys. This is Vince and Niko.
AutoIndustriya.com. Thank you for watching.